Yeah, she said me. Let me get some of this. So everything that you just said in this conversation, the context of what we're talking about, that what you just said is let me do everything to devalue my sexual value, my sexuality, what I'm worth
What?
sexually in the market. Let me devalue myself as much as possible to get this out of the way and then deliver this and say, here, this is what I have left. That's basically what
what
that
is
sounds like.
devaluing about a woman, right? That will embrace her singleness, right? That does not mean she's outside having sex. That means that maybe she's not even dating nobody. Maybe she's just pouring into herself, seeing what
Come
she
on
likes.
now,
Wait,
Ash.
wait, let me finish. Because right now it's just kind of like you have this idea in your head that's not realistic. You know what I'm saying? So you're just going off what you may have seen, but sometimes that just means you just pouring into yourself. You learning to love God first, right? You learning to see what your hobbies is, see what you want to do, see what you like, what you don't like. Oh, I want to travel, I want to do this, I want to do
That's what
that.
your
That
adolescence
doesn't
is for.
necessarily that
Yeah,
doesn't
definitely.
necessarily mean that she's outside, she's hoeing. That don't mean
That,
that.
hold on, hold
Why
on.
would you get that?
What you described is literally what your teens are for. Like your teenage years are for you to figure out what you like and what you don't
No,
like
that is
and what
not,
foods
because
you like. Like, what are we talking about here?
when you
Like,
are
that's literally what
18,
your
when
adolescence is
you
for.
are
Your adolescence is
18,
to experiment and learn. So once
when
you
you are
18
18 years
and you're an
old,
adult, why you want to experiment then? That
when
kind of
you
doesn't
are
make sense.
18 years old, right? And I don't know who in here been to college, right? I've been to college when I was 18. When I went to college and when I turned 25, my mind wasn't the same thing. I was like, damn, I didn't really know who I was. I thought I wanted to go to school for this, but that's not who I was. It was just a perception of what you think you want to do, because you don't have the experience. You get what I'm saying? So it's just kind of to say
Well,
Hmm.
that's what your teens are for. No, an
Hold
So
on.
then, can we
18
say
year old
that Western
mindset is
women
not the
have
same
identity
thing.
crises? Should we say
Yeah,
then
because
that Western women have an
you're
identity crisis? Because why are so many women into their mid 20s, 30s, 40s still trying to discover who they are and what they are? Like, that's something that you should be figuring out your environment, who you are, your sensibilities, and what you like from childhood till adulthood. Once
to
you're an
be
adult, once you're 25, when your brain fully fuses and forms, you should be pretty yourself at that point, right? Like by
that's
25, you
no.
should be pretty much yourself.
Honestly,
And honestly, it's
how old are
embarrassing
you,
because
Clout?
I've
Hold on.
seen 10-year-olds, right, that know exactly who they are. Like, they know what they want to do. They know what kind of foods they don't like. They know what kind of sounds they don't like, what music they like, how they like to dress. Like, this is 10-year-olds we're talking about.
Clout,
But then we
how
got
old are
grown
you?
women that have been to
Clout,
college,
how old are you? Can I ask
right?
you a question? How old are
I'm
you?
37 years old.
Okay, so are you the same person you were 10 years ago? Do you have the same mindset 20
My
as a 27
personality
year old?
has pretty much been the
That's
same
not
my
what I
entire
asked
life.
you.
I'm the
Is
same
your
person.
perception of who you are still the same as a 27 year the
My
27 year
perception of
old
who
you?
I am is absolutely the same. I've always been the same person internally. Yes, I've always been the same person.
Then
My attitude.
that's
For
a
example,
lack
All
of
I
right, so
work for
mirror,
that's a
myself
mirror.
lack of
now. For
involvement.
example, at 37, I work for myself. Right. I told myself when I was 9 years old I was never going to work for nobody. I've known who I am my entire life.
Can I add something, please?
Yeah, go ahead. We're
I
gonna go to
want,
Amir and then let's get time. Let's get
Yeah, I got something to say.
Ash
all right,
said,
Amir.
Ash, you said, oh, I almost forgot it now because I was listening to Cloud. But Ash, you said something about what's wrong with the woman being older and, kind of being by herself. It doesn't mean that she's outside. It doesn't mean that she's doing anything wrong. She could be finding God and so on and so forth. My response to you is that a single woman is useless. She's useless to the world. She's useless to society. A single man is different. Men contribute more to the world than women. If if tomorrow every woman in the whole world stopped working, we would barely even notice. But if tomorrow every man woke up and said, F it, I'm not going, everything will shut down. The whole world, the internet, electricity, even what is it called, logistics, even the food that we eat is all brought, everything is by men. So Ash, to your point, a woman who is in her 40s trying to discover God or be on her own, she's useless. This is the reason why it's a problem. Women are helpful to their team, to their tribe. That's what women are useful for the tribe. for the family. Women are supposed to be the glue of a family. She's not supposed to be out there by herself. It's wrong for a woman to be out alone.
She said that she want to be selfish, Amira.
It sounds to me.
And
I
also,
think you guys
let's
are doing the extreme.
wait, also, real quick,
Hold on.
let's
Hold
act
on.
like
No.
Having
We
a
got to
perfect
share the mic. Like, I'm pretty sure we know who's been dominating. We do got to share it, man. We do got to share. We got some quiet folks. Let's get Ty in there. Let's get Angie and Luis in there too. I know they've been pretty quiet.
I was going to
I
say.
just want to say, man, let's act like women not
Yeah.
catching bodies in
Get
college,
Ty
man. That's
in
all I'm
there,
saying.
Biz.
I'm just saying, let's
Get Ty
let's
in there.
not front like women not catching bodies in college, man. Come on.
Are you done? Or
College is where
I'm
they
done.
catch all of them.
Jeez.
Go ahead, Ty.
I've had a lot of thoughts. I'm just going to go back off of what Amira said. I will say that there is a clear cultural difference here, right? Because I don't disagree with what you said, especially as you expounded on your thought. But just the initial women are useless was like, you know, to a woman that's grown up in America, I can just tell our mentality is totally different, right? Like, we truly feel that we add more value than just what we can bring to the family. But the truth of the matter is, and like I stated, as you expounded, I did agree with you, that if we did all decide to stop working, even though there are many women that are doctors, that are electricians, that do drive trucks, that do all of these things, but we don't dominate those fields, if we're being honest. If we all stopped working, it would honestly affect us the most, right? Like, who would we go to get our hair done? Who would fix our hair, our eyelashes? Who would cook a lot of our food? Things like that we usually still do in the household. So I do agree with you there, but I do feel like it is a cultural thing. I don't agree necessarily with Clout saying that most people automatically already know who they are when they're teenagers. That is a really rough time in your life. There's a lot of different changes, especially going from 10, 12 to 15, 16, 17. You have a lot of emotional changes, hormonal changes, your body is changing, you're feeling different things. So I don't think you know who you are until, like you stated, you hit about 25. You don't know who you are until you're there. So I do think you do need a bit more time to figure it out. But I do think from 25 and up, you should know, right? You should have a pretty good idea. There is a basis to you and your personality, of course, but you're still learning yourself. Now, I do want to just go back to what Ash was stating. Like I stated in the beginning, we as Americans don't feel that there is anything wrong with a woman deciding to go find herself at 40 or 50 or 60, because we believe in being selfish. We believe in those times of going out and figuring out self, but then we don't really want to take up the repercussions that come along with that decision. Because when you decide to do that, and let's say you haven't had children and you've never been married, now you are committing to a life of loneliness. And then you'll have women that are older who have no one to actually take care of them, who have no one to protect them. Women do need protection. We do need covering. We were made to be covered, right? So it's not realistic for us to say that we don't need anybody. We don't need anything. That's only our mentality when we're young, when we're supple, when we can move around on our own. The older we get, we always looking for somebody to help. You see older ladies out there, they get upset if you don't ask to help them or get up when they have a seat or something. They always need assistance, where it's not that necessarily the same with men. Of course, men get older as well. They also need help, but women need that covering. So I just think it's, once again, coming down to a cultural thing. It's our mentality here in Western civilization. And I feel that we should make it more normal to not continue pushing that propaganda that we should find ourselves later in life. You should find yourself earlier
I
and figure
got
out
some.
what you want.